extraordinary, going beyond what is usual, regular, or customary, exceptional to a very marked extent. Now see, when I think of the word extraordinary, I think of one day out of the year that I always know is extraordinary. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Christmas. Now imagine with me for a second. You're a 5-year-old child. Last night was Christmas Eve. And so you wake up and you think to yourself, that big present right in the center of the tree, it's mine. It has my name on it. And it's calling to me. And so you get up, you run to the tree, and you think, wait, I gotta wake up my mom. So you run over to your mom's bedroom, you wake her up, Mom, it's Christmas, we gotta go open presents. And then your mom looks at her clock and says, son, go back to sleep, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. But you want to open that present because you know whatever is inside that box is something extraordinary just waiting for you to rip open to rip it open and get it. Now see, in the same way, God gives us gifts too. Like the gift of preaching, the gift of singing. And that leads me to my first point, knowing your gifts. 1 Corinthians 12:1 says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I do not want you to be ignorant. So you want to know what kind of gifts you have. Like I know I have the gift of preaching. Other people know they have the gift of singing, because when you know what gift God gives you, you can use it. 1 Corinthians 12:4 says there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. So there are different types of gifts, like preaching or singing, but they're all given by God. That leads me to my second point, training your gifts. Now see, when I think of the word training, I think of an Olympic athlete that goes into complete isolation for years at a time, even his entire lifetime, just training for that one event, even if it's 15 seconds long. He trains his entire life for that one shot where he gives it everything he's got so that he can do something extraordinary. In the same way, we must train our gifts so that we can minister effectively for the kingdom of God. Philippians 3:14 says, I press toward the goal for the upward prize in the call of God. Hebrews 12:1 says, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Now see, think about it this way. If we are warriors of God, back in the Bible times, when a warrior gets his equipment, his sword, his shield, he trains with his equipment. But see, if he were to get his equipment and just sit there and not do anything, he wouldn't be a very effective warrior in battle. We must train our gifts so that we can minister effectively, so we can do battle for the kingdom of God. And that leads me to my third point, embracing your gifts. Now see, we can take the gifts that God gives us, and we can say, well, I'm too young for that gift. I'm not ready yet. Or, that gift isn't right for me. I can't do that. Or, I'm just not ready yet. But see, Satan tries to put those thoughts in our head. And he says, I'm not good enough. Or, I'm too young. Or, maybe I'm just not ready yet. And we take those gifts and we neglect them. And we beat them down. And then pretty soon, we can't work in those gifts anymore. But see, even though Satan tells us that we're not young, we're too young, or we're not good enough, God can still take those gifts. But you still have to go back to the beginning. Like training the gifts and embracing them. So as I close, know your gifts, train your gifts, and embrace them. Do not neglect them. Thank you.